everyone, I'm Joe, and I'll be giving you a brief overview of how Ditto works. So, Ditto is a tool that helps teams manage their product copy by functioning as a single source of truth. So, in Ditto, you can do things like designate status for a piece of copy and flag copy for review. You can view detailed edit history and even create a text component library. So, we'll start off in Figma. I have this sample onboarding flows file that has a bunch of pages and a bunch of frames. So you can see I have a web page, mobile, drafts, and inspo. And then each of these pages has a number of frames on it that have text. So I've already opened up Ditto's Figma plugin, and I'll just need to copy the link to this Figma file and paste it in because it's the first time I'm opening the plugin in the file. And then I can continue with the import process by selecting the Figma frames that have text that I want to work on. So I can select the welcome screen, maybe the pricing and the invite on the web page. And on the mobile, I'll do the same thing. And then click Import to Ditto. And once we import this file over, we'll create a new project in Ditto. So I can click Finish. And then now that we've finished, we'll head back over to the web app to see that new project. So back in the web app, I'll do a quick refresh to pull in that new project into my workspace. It's called Onboarding Flows. And here you can see what we've done is extract all the text from that Figma file and then group it visually by the top level Figma frame that it was on. So you can see that this is all the text that was on that welcome frame on the web page. This is all the text that was on the pricing frame on the web page, and so on. And you can get a high-level overview of that by clicking on this frames list button and toggling by the pages that you've imported as well as the frames here. So I'll close that, and then I'll select a piece of text to open up this edit panel on the right side. And this is where the real value of Ditto comes in, because we're able to, one, see a Figma frame preview of that piece of text and that frame. So you can see I can click on this button to highlight the text box that corresponds to the text I've selected in Ditto. And then I can do things like edit the text. So I'll add a welcome here. I can add notes that give some more context or maybe different like alternatives or versions. Here I'll just say max character limit is like 35. And then I can add tags, so things like H1, maybe onboarding. And then last but not least, I can add status. So for example, I could say it's work in progress still. And then when I save those edits, all of that information will show up visually right here. And we'll also just automatically keep track of all those edits that have been happening. So if I go over to the activity tab next to edit, you can see that 9 seconds ago, I marked it as work in progress, and then I added this welcome. I can also just leave a comment. So for example, what do we think of this? And then any teammate in my workspace can come in and reply to that comment or resolve the entire thread if they feel like the conversation is finished. Last thing I want to show here was the blocks feature. So this comes into handy when you want to add more hierarchy and structure to the text in Ditto, especially for outside stakeholders when they're coming into review, like legal and marketing. So you can see that in this Figma frame preview, I have these two pieces of text that I could consider a heading. So I'll go ahead, I've created that new block, I'll rename it to heading. I can actually drag those two pieces of text in. And then if I've decided that I don't want to work on all this other text, I can go ahead and just collapse it. And that way, anyone coming in can get this really clear, kind of decluttered view of exactly the text they want to look at. So when you save edits in Ditto, they get saved locally, but in order to actually push those edits back to the mockup, we have to go back to Figma. And I already have the plugin opened here, so I'll just come up here and click the resync button. And what that will do is run through, fetch the changes that have happened in Ditto, and then update your file with them. So you can see here in my most recent sync, I edited one piece of text, and that corresponds to these 3 changes here. So I can select that one to be brought to that piece of text. We'll also open up the selected tab in the plugin with these 3 subtabs, the edit, activity, and comments tabs that correspond pretty directly to what you saw in the web app. So here you can also edit the text and all of this other metadata. You can view activity, and you can also view and respond and resolve comments. We also add this emoji to the layer name in the Figma file that corresponds to the status. And that's so that anyone coming into the file, even if they don't have a Ditto account, can see the status and progress of every piece of text in the file. So two more things I want to show back in the web app. You can select the search page at the top to view the text across every single file and every single project in your Ditto workspace. So we've heard from teams that this can come into handy when they want to do more of a high-level audit or overview. For example, if you've been going and tagging things CTA, you can come in here, click on this tags button here, and then filter everything in your workspace down to the things that have been tagged CTA and see if there are any inconsistencies. The other thing I want to show are components. So the Ditto component library is a way to establish reusable text components. So all of these things that I have here are things I can use in any project. And when they get updated in one place, they'll get updated in all of the places it's being used. So for example, I have this confirmation button that says got it. I'll actually edit it right now to just have one exclamation mark. You can see it has these notes and these tags, and it's being used right now just in one project, this payment flow. But I'll go ahead and go back to the project that we're just working out of and show how we can attach a piece of text to that component. So for example, maybe I'll just click this continue. I'll click create or attach component. I'll go ahead and do that confirmation button. You'll get a little preview of how that text is being changed. So to got it now. I'll click attach, and you can see now that it's highlighted purple, indicating that it's correspond and attached to that confirmation button component. And then anytime this gets updated, it'll be updated here as well. In the plugin, you can also just go ahead and browse and search all of the components in your workspace. And then when you want to use one, you can go ahead and just drag it into your mockup and start from there. And we've heard from teams that they really love this because it's a way to establish more consistency across products by predefining some standardized text that designers and anyone else creating mockups can just come in and use to save time. So that's all I want to show. That's a brief overview of Ditto. Thank you so much for watching.